So I got it built. Tower's all done, more or less. I haven't put in stairs or ladders, but I figured that's going to get saved for last. And I figured I'd give some thoughts on the whole thing overall and what I felt about it. And I think, when it's all said and done, this is a really, really impressive piece. It's quite cool. I can't wait to see it out on the tabletop. But what I really like is that it really is built to come apart. So you have each of these sections, which, you could probably fit a standard Warhammer regiment in there. But they each come out, which makes them useful not just for Warhammer. In fact, it's probably less useful for Warhammer than it is for other things. Like, you could even use it in 40K, or in your, whatever your favorite role-playing game is. Fantasy role-playing game, probably. But it's also it's cool. It's a great looking piece. When it was all said and done, there was quite a bit of work to do. I filled the gaps with green stuff wherever the walls came together, because they're, in some cases, not necessarily just gaps, but the bricks all had a slope to them. You can see one there. And I think that was really just for molding purposes, in order to more easily get the pieces out of the mold. Each of those brick pieces was sloped. So to build them back up, I used green stuff and, a sculpting tool. It's real simple to do work like that. And then in one of these pieces, in my previous video, I talked about how I thought you should put it together, and I mentioned that one of them I didn't do it that way. Well, I ended up taking that piece apart, or taking that level apart, and redoing it because the floors just would not fit properly. Interesting thing about the floors is, if you see the rafters here are recessed back a bit from the wall, so when you put this together, it keys in and doesn't slide. Strangely, this is not true of the tower top. This has these pieces here, will keep it from sliding all the way off, but it gives it so much play that I'm thinking about trying to figure out some way to make that fit better. Otherwise, you kind of have to eyeball it and see where it goes. But the next thing for me now is to paint it. Well, prime it and then paint it, and get this project moving. One last thing before we go here is these supports. Because you're meant to be able to take this section off, these don't really mesh completely with the walls, and so you have these open pieces here. I left them as is. If you were going to make this just a static display and not want to lift it out, then certainly you'd want to blend that in against the wall so that it looked more natural against there. But because I wanted to make that fully functional, I didn't do that. But anyway, that's it. That's all for now. This is the tower, and it's ready for primer. Talk to you later.